Okay, so the last class we did or the video I sent you, it spoke about a few things. It spoke about, first of all, the it spoke about the if statement. It spoke about the if statement. It spoke about the loop statement, in which we have the for loop and the while loop in Python. And then it spoke about functions in Python. And then how we can create functions, how we can create loops, how we can create these objects. How we can create functions, how we can create loops in Python. Now, today, we are going to take questions and see how we can solve them. You see, one thing in which I really have seen when it comes to programming is that the course is me teaching you the structures. That is the course. To be honest, that is the course. This is the if statement. This is how you write it. This is how you save it. All of those things, that is the course. Us solving problems is not the course. Us solving problems comes from the student or the individual. But the honest truth is, students find it hard to see a problem and break it down. So I always take my time when it comes to us going into problem solving. Us going into problem solving or us so as I was saying, these are the things in which we did. But we're going to go through how to break the problems down, how to understand the problems that were given. And I put them in your group for you to try. Some would have gotten it correct, some got it wrong. Doesn't really matter. We are going to do it together and see how we can break the problems down. Also, when you are faced with problems of that nature, how can you solve it in the future? So let's have the questions then. Again, you guys have the questions already. So we will just have a look at them. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sometimes it's very quiet, so I think you can't hear me. So here we have a question, right? So it says that what? Loan is usually not a straightforward task. Full stop. Okay?
Yes, sir.
A lot of loan is the discount in a type of loan is the discount installment loan statement. This type of loan has the following characteristics. Supposing a loan has a face value of 1,000, interest is 10%, and duration is 12 months. Interest is compounded by multiplying the face value of the loan Where am I even reading to? Oh, yes. Interest is compounded by the face value of the loan. Interest is compounded by multiplying the face value by 0.12 to produce this. The figure is then multiplied over the loan period of that to give us this as the total interest. This amount is immediately deducted from the face value, leaving the customer with only that. Repayment is then made in monthly equal installments based on the face value. This means the monthly payment will be made by that and that. and approximately that. This method of calculation monthly is not too bad if the customer needs that, but if the customer needs it, a bit complicated. So that's fine. This question here, cool. What do they want us to do? They want us to write a program that will take three numbers, the amounts the customer needs, the interest rate, and the duration. So here, we know what they want us to do first. The program should then calculate the face value in order for the customer to know the amount of money he needs. That one is also there. The program should then calculate the monthly payments. Okay. The program should allow the calculations to be repeated as often as the user wishes and explain the part of the code that is allowed, that is allowing the repetition. Okay, that's fine. So we want the user to do it over and over and over again. And then you should continue doing the loan calculations. Where would you see such a thing being used? You see, here is where your imagination has to come in. For example, if you want to go for a loan for a bank, you can see this being used. If you want to do insurance, those people who go around and they sell insurance, family insurance, health insurance, first party insurance, those kind of insurances. This is good for you, right? All of those people, you put in a value, then they'll tell you, okay, if you want to do insurance for 6 years, then this is the amount of money you pay. And at the end of the day, this is the amount of money you get. That kind of thing, this is good for that. So now we have things in which we can compare with this. We can relate to this. Number one, before I even solve this question, before I even write any code, I must ask myself some certain questions. What is the first question in which I need to ask myself? I need to ask myself, what are the inputs that I require? The inputs are the amount the customer needs, the interest rate, and the loan duration in months. Those are the inputs I require. So I will write code in Python, and I would ask the user to enter these items here. So the user would enter the amount needed, the duration, and the interest. So here, when I run this code here, I'll see that the user has the ability enter the amount. He would enter the amount, let's say 20. Enter the interest rate. He would enter the interest rate. So as a decimal, so 0.1, it will be that. So I'll write 0.1. And then enter the amount in months, I'll enter 24. So these are the information I require as input. You see, we must learn to translate English problems into code and execute. So remember what I said, that if you have input, if you tell someone input a particular information or enter a particular information, it is a true effect, or it's a true action effect. I will ask and I will receive. So this input here, its job is to ask the user for some piece of information and receive the information after it has been asked. Now, the information that is being asked from the portion I've highlighted is being received as a float. If that information is being received as a float, then it means that the amount needed here is of data type float, and we are using it to store that information. Why don't we use int? Because we are entering money, and we have the cedi and the pesewa. So someone can say, I want to put in 1,040 pesewas. It's allowed. So this here, its job is to ask and receive it. The float is to convert it and make sure we are going to recognize it as digits and in a format that we can use and acknowledge in money. And since the money is seen as decimals, we use the float. And then we'll put it over here. Remember what we said too. The variable's job is to hold certain information. The variable is not the thing. It holds information about the thing. We are going to do the same for the other three. So this code here allows us to also take information about the interest, take information about the loan. Look at how I wrote this piece of information here. I tell the person, enter the interest into bracket as a decimal. For example, 0.1 is what? 10%. You make sure that the user knows exactly what he has to do. It is your job. You are the programmer. You are in control. You are telling the user how to act, what to do, when to do it, how to do what he has to do. Again, I'll receive the information, and the information is being seen as a decimal, hence I would use a word, float. Over here, the months, there is no 1.5 months. There is January, February, March, 3 months. So they are integers. There are no decimal points behind them. Hence, you can see that for the month, I am converting it into a what? Integer. And I'm saving it in the location I'm calling duration underscore months. Now, I'll continue my code. The question says we should calculate the face value of the program. The question then comes in, what is the face value? How do I calculate the face value? Again, do not panic. You are answering the question the way you are answering the questions is a chunk at a time. Don't think of the whole problem as a big lump. You become overwhelmed. You become overloaded. Just think of a particular area that you want to start from, and each time you increase, you'll be adding things, and you realize that at the end of the day, you would have built the program. You are a beginner. It will be very difficult in the beginning stage. But as time goes on, you see that making associations and putting things together would be faster. And the only way they can be faster is if you practice. This is the formula for calculating of face value. So here I have the formula for calculating face value. If I want to calculate face value, then I need to know the amount needed plus into bracket the amount needed times the interest times the duration in years. What is the face value? The face value is the amount of money I am supposed to pay at the end of my loan. So, for example, if your friend comes to you and says, "Oh, I actually, I really need money. You give me 10,000, and then I'll pay you back 12,000." Right there, the face value is the 12,000. So they're asking you, how much money in total are you supposed to pay when everything is said and done? And here is a formula for calculating that. Okay, no problem. So now I must translate the formula into code. Into code. Now, the formula only works within 1 month. So the formula works for 1 month. So I'm calculating the face value based on 1 month. So duration in years is equal to duration in month over 12. So right there, I've just converted the months into years. Therefore, face value would be the amount needed over 1 minus the interest rate times the duration. Therefore, monthly payment will be equal to the face value over the duration in months. Now, here's where a lot of students find it difficult, because students start to think, do I have to know every formula? Do I have to remember every formula in this world? You do not have to remember every formula in this world. That is not part of your duties, to remember every formula there is in this world. But there is a reason why whenever you watch a movie, the IT person knows everything. That means you must read wide, you must practice. There are times in which you must watch documentaries, you must watch things in which other people would deem would be irrelevant, so that you can build your idea base, you can build your knowledge base. You can build your idea base and your knowledge base to a point whereby whenever you are faced with a scenario, you have an idea of what to do. And contrary to popular belief, a lot of IT work is done with prep and research. So if there is a problem you do not understand, you spend time learning the problem, reading about the problem, finding out how the problem works before you even go and write code. Because at this point in time here, I know, first of all, so I can print and tell the user face value of the loan in Ghana City is face value. And I can print monthly payment in quotes, sorry, monthly payment would be given in Ghana Cedi plus monthly payment. Now, this program is not complete because the program says we want the user to be able to do this again and again and again and again and again. We want it so that the user would do this action again and again and again and again and again. So if I run this here, over here, I can type, enter the amount of money you need. Let's say I need 10,000 at 10%, 24 months. It means that my first value for the loan is this, and then I'll make monthly payments of that. Okay. My code now has to repeat this over again. I can't just do it once and stop. So I'm going to put everything here in a function. So at the top here, I'm going to say diff calculate underscore loan colon. That means all of these things here have to be tabbed. That means everything here is under what? This. Python uses indentation. You can't just be writing your code anyhow, like this will come here. The moment you bring this one over here, it means that everything here is under this one. This is not included. You can't code like that when it comes to Python. Everything has to be in line. Everything you do has to be in line. If we are given a space, there must be a reason why you give a space. Over here, I can give a space down here as much as I like. But when it comes to the spaces on the horizontal side, I can't do this. I have to make sure they are in line so that he knows that everything here is under this. Now over
Please-
here,
Please, sir,
yes.
why that?
Hey, am I the one who coded? Am I the one who wrote the language Python? To be honest with you, the person who wrote Python as a programming language did not want his programming language to have anything to do with the C-based languages. So all the programming languages like Python, Java, like Java, PHP, JavaScript, all of them get their syntax from the C-based languages like C++ and C. But Python, it deconstructed everything and wanted its own syntax and its own way of doing things. Hence, that is the rules we have to live by. And another thing English students don't see whenever they are learning coding is that programming is just like learning a language. For example, if I want to say, I am tired and I want to sleep, in tree, my bread, me pesa me koda. In Ga, how will I say it? I'm tired and I want to sleep. How will I even say it in Ga?
Etomi, mi amawo.
Etomi mi yamawo. So you realize based on the language you speak, there is a tonation, there is a way you would speak the language. Even in tree, if you want to say it in Fanti or you want to say it in a Kriapim, there is a way you would carry yourself and say it. There is a structure to the language. The same way, every programming language has its own structure. The words can be the same. Etomi mi yamawo. Etomi mi yamawo. My brain person kwada. The way you even say it shows aggressiveness or non-aggressiveness. That is the same way programming languages are. So for the same problem, we can solve it with all the programming languages. But each one has a syntax. Each one has a way it is written. My job is to teach you the way it is written. But for the ideas that come into it and all of those things, they come from the student. They come from your experiences. They come from the things in which you know and how you know things. And the more things you know, the faster you can solve the problems. That is why whenever I'm teaching students how to code and coding classes, I always say practice. And I always make sure that if there is something you need, you can always WhatsApp me or send a code or whatever, and I would answer because I have been where you are, whereby I am learning the thing and I'm learning on my own. It's best you have someone to share ideas with. Of course, when you're teaching students, even if they have a spelling mistake, then they send it to you. That's not what I'm saying. But errors are errors, and we all get errors. Python, please, the indentation matters. So you can see that here, I'll start a while statement, and I'll put here true. So I'm saying that whilst everything is true, I want to perform the action over here. And what action do I want to perform? I want you to go and calculate the what? The loan. So whilst everything is okay, go and calculate the loan. The question is, when will this stop? When will I stop? Because I can't calculate the loan every day. There at some point in time, I need to stop. So here I'll say repeat. Is equal to input. Do you want to calculate again? Into bracket, yes or no. Semicolon space. And here I'll add a dot strip. Dot lower. Now, one thing a teacher of mine told me, in which has stuck with me even till now, is that people are stupid, machines are not. And it is a statement in which you think of and you realize even you or even me in my daily life using computers, sometimes you'd read an instruction. The password has to be 8 letters. Then I'll enter 6. Then I'll press. Then it will tell me, no, you have to enter 8. Then I'll get annoyed. I'll say, but you. Then I'll go and enter the correct thing. Then I'll continue. It is important that here I said, do you want to calculate? Yes or no? Okay. Someone can go and type the yes in capital letters. Someone can go and type the no in capital letters. Someone will type the Y in capital and ES. Someone will type the N in capital and the O. No matter what you do over here, I'm telling the computer, take it, isolate it, and turn it into a lowercase. So no matter what happens, it would make sure, this one makes sure I grab what the person has typed, and only what the person has typed. Remove all the white spaces, all of those things. I'm just grabbing it. The lower here would make sure that what the person has typed will be converted into a lowercase. In so doing, no matter what you type, if you type it in capital letter, small letter, or whatever, I can say, if, repeat, is not equal to yes, then print out exiting program, full stop, goodbye. And then after that, I'll go on a break. I'll save my work. Just to give a tryout, I'll click here again. I can enter an amount. I enter an amount. I enter an amount. I enter an amount. I click here. Do I want to continue? I type yes with a capital letter. I can continue. We can see that. The moment I type no, even if it is a capital letter, it tells me exiting program and I what? Stop. So for the question we saw over here, this breaks everything down. I can allow the user to do it as many times as he wants. I can show the person the payment. I can show the person the face value, and I accept the information. So for this question, I have my 5 marks, my 5 marks, my 5 marks, and my 5 marks. Note, if you don't get this 5 marks, this one you will not get it. This one too, you will not get it. And obviously, this one too, you will get. So you here no on 0. That is why in this course, technically, it's either you are getting everything correct or you are getting everything wrong. Of course, I'm not an idiot to just mark you correct or wrong. I'll consider what you do, but in your daily life, strive for perfection. Any questions?
No question, sir.
Hey, I thought my class people were five. Oh. How come today I'm seeing six people or something like that?
Yes, sir. We have one of the morning guys joining us. He has shifted his session to evening.
And has been reflected in the system.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to the second question.
Okay.
Can one of you kindly read it for us?
A
Question
Ghanaian
number
Navy.
3. Okay, Benjamin, continue.
Okay, a Ghanaian a Ghanaian Navy has been paying its newly employed staff on tabletop, a practice that has attracted much criticism from the military command. On a trial basis, they have engaged your services to design a payment system with the following functions or functionalities. Request for only name and rank to be entered into the system. B. Use the table below to compute the net salary, which is gross salary tax. Name, rank, gross salary, tax, percentage of gross salary, net salary. Sergeant, 2,500. And then the tax is 2.7. And the second row, rank, major, gross salary, 4,800. Tax, 5.8. The next step, rank, captain, gross salary, 6,800. Tax, 8.3. Display results.
Thank you so much for your beautiful reading. Let's see. Julius, what do they want us to do, according to you?
Actually, it's a payment system they want us to do. That they don't want anybody to know how much each person is being paid. It's just that you enter the rank and everything will be calculated for you.
Perfect. Manasseh, at the end of the day, what answers do they want?
So they want the net salary of every rank.
Manasseh, wait, is it the net salary of every rank?
No.
And we're looking at all.
Is the net salary of every rank.
Manasseh, read this part for me.
Request for only name and rank to be entered into the systems.
So are you entering the rank of everybody?
No, the
You're
name.
entering the rank of who?
The name, only the name
Of how many people?
of 3 people.
Hey, Manasseh, read this place again.
Request for only name and rank to be entered into the system.
Manasseh, how many people are you requesting for their names?
One person.
One person, it's one person. So just
Hey,
one.
hey, are you his lawyer? Are you his lawyer? Did someone call you? Hey,
I didn't even hear him.
hey,
I'm concerned.
is this small lies that will not make us go into heaven? Oh? Is this small lies that will not make us go into heaven?
I didn't hear him, honestly.
So, at the end of the day, what do they want us to have, Manasseh?
They want us to have the net salary of one person.
Of a soldier,
Yes, sir. Okay, of a soldier. Yes.
or in better English, of the soldier who made the entry.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When will you use something like this? Whenever you have a table, it should tell you that I'm going to be using if-else statements. For example, when you have to do with your grading, when you have to do with discount, when you have to do with something that requires a range, then it means that the if-else would be applied. So without you even writing any code, you see in the table, you know that at the end of the day, if I finish all my code and I don't see if, else, and if, I have made a mistake somewhere. You can see that I haven't even written any code. I haven't started typing anything. I haven't started, oh, let me start writing the Python and oh my God, I'm doing Python and I'm a Python programmer. No. Before I put it in the language, I must think of what I am supposed to do. And if I don't know what I have to do, I can't execute it. I must know what I have to do before I execute it. Because if I execute and what I have to do is wrong, it means my execution would be wrong. And the words we use, the words we use, like how Manasseh said, you have to show the amount of money that will be displayed for everybody. It's not everybody. If it's for everybody, it means that the way I will write the program will change. How I will write the program will change. The information I will take will change. So I will come in here. I will click here. I'll call my Python project payroll.py. In here, I will write my Python code. Since we learned how to create a function, I would say diff calculate underscore salary. Colon. Now, in here, if I solve it the way I want to solve it now, will you people understand? When you were doing C++, did you get to arrays?
So we won't understand, so you teach us.
Did you get to arrays?
Yeah, we spoke about that.
Hey, someone said we spoke about it. Someone who said no, sir. Hey, students, they all
So
boy, students.
actually, we read there, but it was a little bit confusing.
Okay, let me hit on that. Because in Python, you will do that a lot, especially when you have to do data analytics and stuff. Most of the time, you use data structures and triples and arrays and sets. You would use this kind of information, so it's best we use it right now. Or let me skip it. If I skip it to, let me skip it. Okay, you guys are big enough. You would understand. So an array.
Done.
An array. Let me go here. Scroll down a bit. Click here. Push this one here and put this one here. Make it a bit larger. An array is a data structure that stores a collection of items, typically of the same data type. It is a contiguous block of memory, and arrays are used to organize information. So that is what an array is. Now here, I am going to create an array. But not just an array that has another array in it. So here I'm going to create salary underscore data is equal to this. Okay. Now in this, I have sergeant. And sergeant has the following. Number one, it has a gross salary underscore salary of 2,500. And it has a tax price of 0.027. Where did I get 0.027 from? The tax is 27%. 27% is 27 over 100. So it will move here, to move here. It's 2.7, sorry. So this will be 2.7 over 100. So it will move here, here would be 0. It will move again, and then I'll bring a dot here, and then the 0 will come here. So me converting 2.7 into a decimal is me getting 0.027. Okay. So now I have this. Over here, I'll bring a comma. I would say major. Now under major, I have the following. I have the gross salary of the major. So let me just copy all of this because I would need it to save me some typing. And then here, the major is making 4,800. Over here, the next one I have is captain. I have this. The captain is making 6,000. And then over here, his tax is 8,3. Good. 8,3. Perfect. Now, the values here are all gotten.
I feel like
from...
me, my destiny, the right to restricted mode for the down there. I don't know, say use your own day so for the down there.
What are you talking about? Benjamin, are you talking to us or you are talking to someone else?
Sorry.
Okay, so over here, we have all of this. We have this, sergeant, this, that, that. I've translated it here. I've kept it in one big array. But in this case, technically I'm using an object, but I don't want to go there. But we are using this to hold all the information together as one. And this will allow me to do something very, very important. I can say the user should enter the name. So input. And then in here, I'm going to say enter the name of the staff. And then here, I'm going to add the dot strip to it. Remember, the dot strip would remove all white spaces. Those people who, when they are typing, so some people are there, before they type, they'll hit the space and let's say type, let's say mark, for example, okay? Or after they are done typing, they'll hit the space again. So what strip will do is to remove the space here, remove the space here, so that it is only the mark that is there. Here too, I'm going to say rank is equal to input into bracket, enter the rank into bracket, either the person is a sergeant or a major or a captain. Semicolon space. Note that normally when I do the semicolon, I give space so that when the person is typing, everything looks in order. Remember, appearance matters. How the thing looks matters when you are displaying to the user. So here, I'm going to have dot strip. And I'm also going to have that dot strip. Now in here, I'm going to say if the rank is not in salary data, then we are going to print out invalid valid rank. Please try again. And then I'm going to put the word continue. Okay, let me leave that one out again for now. So now I'm going to come here. And if the rank is correct, then gross salary.
Sir, please go top. Let me see something.
Gross salary is equal to the salary of the person. And then we want the rank that the person typed. And then when you pick the rank, you would go and pick the gross salary over here. Let me explain this piece of code here. Very confusing, but very fascinating, very wonderful. Here, I'm saying enter your name. Okay, someone will enter their name. Enter the rank. Remember, I told you to type it like this, like that, and like that. So if someone, let's say someone comes and types sergeant, okay? So you come, you type sergeant, but you add an S. It means that the rank is not in salary data. So the code you type would be taken, you go into salary data, and it will be compared with the information you have over here. Now, if the information we have over here, this one has to be capital S, by the way, else I'll get an error. If the information you have over here does not match the info, and this sergeant I brought over here, I have to bring the A here, else every time I do it to give me an error. So the information you type, if it doesn't match any of the information here, then we'll give you this error message and then kick you off. If this doesn't apply to you, that means that we found you. You are there. So now you come here. So we are telling the computer, go to salary data. So it will go to salary data. The first square bracket is talking about this place. So when we put rank here, we are putting what the person has typed here. So for example, if the person types sergeant here, technically over here would be what? Sergeant. So we are telling the computer, go to salary data, go to sergeant, and when you go to sergeant, go and look for gross salary in sergeant. So if I go to sergeant and I go and look for gross salary, it tells me that the salary of the person is 2,500. I can also tell the person that when you go and pick the tax rate of the person, tax underscore rate is equal to the salary data into square brackets, the rank you type into square bracket, the tax underscore rate. So technically, these things here are the labels and these are the values. So I'm telling you, go to this label, and then when you go there, whatever value that is there, this is what you'll be picked. So it means when you go to salary data, you look for the rank, look for this tag. When you pick the information over there, then it will come and replace this. So technically, we are saying this will be equal to that. Then the person can continue to say the tax amount should be equal to the gross salary times the tax underscore rate. Also, the net underscore salary should be equal to the gross salary minus the tax amount. Again, some people don't know that when your friend, okay, you people will know because you people work, but the day students, when you work and someone tells you my salary is 2,000, technically you are paying tax on this amount of money. So what you take home and go and feed your children with is technically 1,600. The rest of it will go to the government of Ghana for them to
That
use it to do whatever they have to do.
that is why I prefer the tabletop.
You do know that the class is being recorded, right? So I don't think you should say illegal stuff that will take you to jail on a recorded item. But let's leave it over there. So this is the gross salary. This is the net salary. The gross salary is your salary without any deductions, your taxes and so on and so forth. Your net salary is your salary after deductions. Everybody you meet will tell you their gross salary. Tell you how much they take, and they take 10,000. But in Ghana, if you take 10,000, technically what you are taking home to feed your children with is around 7,050. That means 3,000 or 2,000 of your money is gone, just like that. And that is the country we live in. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you do, there's death and there's taxes. So we must learn how to calculate the taxes. You see, no one tells you this when you are doing computer science or doing computer engineering or doing IT, that most of the jobs you will do, you are not a computer firm. Like Uber is not a computer firm, it's a logistics firm. Google is an advertising firm. So if you do IT and you don't learn advertising, you don't learn logistics, how can you utilize your skills to do those things? So these questions are not there to scare you. They are not there to make you feel like, oh, I don't know maths and I don't know how to do this and that is not happening. No, we learn it. When you have a problem in the real world, you do research, you sit down, you learn, you put things together. It's just that at a certain level, you must do it very, very fast. So in going on, now that we have all our answers, I can say, print name name, name, print, rank, rank. Remember, this would be how to be displayed. This one is the container containing the item. So we are displaying what is being kept there. Again, I keep repeating these things because we are learning. So it is best we have the foundations. And remember, my job is to teach you the structure, not to solve questions. The questions are there to test how you can write the structure. So gotta see it. I'll put a gotta CD over here. And then over here, I'll put a plus here and then put in STR here. And then here I'll say what? Gross salary. So here will be gross salary. Of course, I'll have my net salary. Remember, Python indentation matters. So we don't leave indentations in our code just like that. So I have my net salary here. And between my gross and my net, I will have my tax. And here would be what? Tax. So everything here is beautifully kept in a function. Oh, you see, I have an error here because they are not in line. Everything is inside the function, so we keep it in line. Now I'll go here and then steal this code over here. Do you want to continue this one? I'll copy it and I'll bring it over here because the code says we should repeat it for people. So do you want to, but here I won't say, do you want to calculate again? I'll say, do you want to calculate
Yeah, can you go
for,
up?
I should go up.
Yes, I only see from 0.7 down.
0.7.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, maybe. Okay. Okay, say I'm good.
So I want to copy the code from there. Here I've changed it from, do you want to calculate to, do you want to calculate for another person? And if the answer of do you want to calculate for another person is yes, then we know what to do. If it is no, then we know what to do. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you know what to do? So if not, then we'll exit the program. Goodbye. We break. Now, okay. So over here, I'll add, that is line 12 here, I'll add continue. I'll add the word continue over here. Okay. So that if you get here and we show you this message, it will stop here, but it will go straight here and continue the program for you. It will not stop it completely. It will not halt it from running completely. Mhm. And then here, why do I have an error here? Let's see. Break cannot be used only whilst in the loop. Yes. So over here, continue to can be used only whilst in the loop, yes. So over here, I'm going to put a loop on top of here. So I'm going to say while true, and then I'll do this. And you can see that the moment I do that, everything here is faded out, because remember in Python, for you to be in the body of something, you must be what? Indented. So here it means that everything here is under the function, and then we get here, everything from here is inside the what? The loop. Perfect. That means that if I run this code right now, if I go and click here, nothing will show down here for me, because I haven't yet called on my function to run. So for this code to run, I have to go and highlight the signature of the function, which is the name and the parentheses. And then over here, I'll come to the end here and then call upon it. So now, when I go and click this now, I'll see that down here, I'll have entered the name of the staff. So the name of my staff member is Munyo. And Munyo is a big boy, so he will be a captain. And when I hit this, it will tell me that Munyo is whatever. But here I have an error. Straight up error. Oh my God. In line 33, I have an error over there. And then in line 17 too, I have an error because of the line 33. So let's go and see why we have an error and where the error is coming from. So I type captain here and it says I have an error. So let's go and see line 33. So where's line 33? Line 33 is the line 33 is here. Okay. And then it says the error is coming from line 17 to so line 17, which is coming from the tax rate over here. Okay. So what did I do wrong with the tax rate? Note how when I got the error, I read what the error was. I hope you saw that. I hope my students, the students in which I love and care about, they saw that. I didn't just raise my hand and say, Sir Mark, I have error.
Yes, sir.
So now I have an error with the tax rate. So here, let me go over here. Over here, we called it tax price, not tax rate. So me writing tax rate over here, the computer is wondering what is it looking for when it comes here. So here I'll change, I can either change this, I'll just change this to tax what? Price. So now when I start the program again, I come here, I scroll up. Over here, my staff name is still Monyo. He is a captain. And I click here, you can see that now it is calculating and then giving me the answers. So again, there is no panic. There is no fear. There is no, oh, programming is hard. Of course it's hard. What in life is not hard? But it gets easier. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. The more you are curious, the easier it becomes. You just practice. If you fail, there's no problem of it. Of course, there's a problem when you fail in an exam or a test. But if it is not an exam or a test, it's fine. We are cool. If you have an error, read the error. Figure out where the error is. The first statement here is telling me it's coming from line 13, but when I go to line 13, it is telling me it is coming from the function. So the second line is telling me specifically where from the function I'm getting an error. I can see that it is from the tax rate. So when I come here and I see that the tax rate is spelled correctly, the next thing I have to check is if it is spelled correctly, where I'm calling from it from. It is not. The name is different. Here I call it tax rate, here it's tax price. I change the name, I move on. Fear is not needed. The programming is hard. It is not needed. And we can see that over here, when I finish running my program, asking me, do I want to continue with another person? Over here, I'll say what? Yes. And then it will continue for me. I can enter the next person. Okay, over here, I want Julius. So I have Julius. And over here, Julius is a major. A major. Do I want to continue? No. So my program will what? Stop. My program will what? Stop. Are there any questions, please?
Yes, sir.
What's the question?
It's about reading the errors. So, when you change it to tax rate,
Mhm.
and you want to maintain the tax rate, it means you have to go back to where you started and change it from tax tax price
The tax rate,
to
yes.
tax
With all of
rate.
these things have to be tax rate. Is that okay?
Correct. Yes, sir. And sometimes to reading the error, no, it's a bit confusing. I don't. Sometimes I will code it, and the error will show, but I still can't
Most of
identify.
the time, the error tells you what the problem is. Or to be honest, all of the time. It's just that your understanding of what the error is always difficult. It's always it's a bit difficult. So you shouldn't despair. For example, sometimes they will say undefined. When you say something is undefined, it means that that thing is not there or that thing hasn't been created. So sometimes you need to learn the language of the error. I was watching this thing on Instagram, and then the person was saying that the fastest way to learn programming is to understand errors. Because the more you understand errors, the quicker you can solve them and then move on. So one of those ways too is by practicing. So if you read something and then you find out, okay, this is how it's solved. The next time you see it, your mind intentionally knows that, okay, because of this, this is how I'm supposed to do this. You know, things like that. Things like that. Mm. Do we have to solve the last question, or you people are okay and you can go and solve it on your own?
Then let's solve it.
Student, they'll never say, oh, say, you can go, we will take over. Hey, student. Oh no, these my students will kill me. Can we have one honorable person to read for us? Or I have to mention him?
Okay, let me read.
Hey. By the way, before you read, the reason why I ask you people to read questions is because all of you are supposed to read it. Then there you are finding how will I solve this? What will I do? That's number one. Number two, let me say this in the nicest possible way. The person who does not talk is not successful. That is why a lot of the leadership in most organizations are the dumbest people you can ever find because they can talk. And the smartest people are always timid and quiet. That will not be the portion of my students. They would be able to talk. If they do something good, they will be able to say, and they will be smart too. So please, when I ask you to talk,
Amen.
I can choose you at random and it will not pain me. I can just point you here, you read. The point is you must find confidence. Push yourself to be in front. No one has to push you. That's not why we are here. So please, read for us.
Okay, so Apostle Kojo Safo, popularly known as Kantanka, is one of the renowned entrepreneurs in Ghana. He manufactures cars, agricultural light, and heavy-duty machinery, just to mention a few. His products have attracted many investors, both local and foreign. However, sales of his manufactured cars in particular have seen very little patronage in Ghana. The argument is that the cars have not been properly, properly tested, but have been given the green light by the Driver and Vehicle License Authority, that's the DVLA, to be used in Ghana. Most of the cars on our roads today are accident cars imported from the Western world. It is being debated that these imported cars contribute immensely to the high road accident cases in Ghana. The government has decided to charge 0.5% tax on every car purchased from Kantanka. This will increase the sales of Kantanka cars and arguably reduce road accidents in Ghana. You are to write a program Your program should have a function that calculates and displays the tax on any car purchase. B. Assuming sales have gone up and the government has scrapped the tax incentive, a tax of 25% imposed on each car sale. Modify a portion of the code to reflect the new development. C. Explain how the Ghana Revenue Agency (GRA) can use your program to calculate tax on goods imported into the country.
Marvelous
Thank you.
reading, marvelous reading, marvelous reading. Now, can another honorable person? Today we haven't heard from Richard. So Richard, you are the honorable person. What do they want us to do according to you? If Richard is not there, then we give him -5 because you are supposed to be by your device and then we reply. So Richard immediately gets a -5. Thank you, Richard. Now let's go to Benjamin. Benjamin,
So,
what do they want
it
us to
says,
do?
so first of all, you are supposed to calculate and display the tax on any car that is purchased.
Mhm.
And then the second one is you have to modify a portion of the code to reflect the new development
Mhm.
by the government. And then the third one is you have to explain the revenue. I mean, you have to explain how the Ghana Revenue Agency can use your program to calculate tax on goods imported into the country.
Okay. So is that what they want at the end of the day?
Yes.
Okay. At the end of the day, they want you to calculate the tax
Tax
imposed by
imported
this.
into the
This one. This is what they want you to do. Mhm. Now, this one is secondary. This portion of the question is secondary. But the main thing is that they want you to calculate a tax of this percent on every car sold. You see, a lot of the time when you go to someone to build an app for you, everything which they are saying, it's chaff. Oh, in my organization, people steal from me, oh, and I sell wig, and the girls too, they are always walking around. So I want an app so that when someone buys the wig, they will enter and they'll click. Then when the person comes to the sales point, I'll just check from there and then give the person the money and then give the person the ticket. Then they'll go and pay at another place. Then they'll go for the wig at the other place. All the things in which I'm saying right now, you have to find the meaning from it. The what do I want? You have to find the meaning from it. You have to find what you really want from it. This is all they want. And the reason why we need to find what they actually want, which is this, is that how do I get the tax? I'll get the tax by what? What do I need to get the tax? The person needs to enter the price of the car. The price of the car will allow me to calculate the tax. So in this question here, I'll go back to my VS Code. I'll click here. I'll call it car.py. In here, I'll start writing my Python code. And what does that entail? First of all, I'll create a diff. That's I'm creating a function. I'll call the function calculate underscore import underscore tax. And in here, I'll put price here, comma, tax rate underscore rate over here. I'll bring my semicolon, and here I'll say it returns price times tax underscore rate. So here I've created a function. The function has parameters. What does the parameter actually mean? It means that in order for the function to do its operations, it requires additional information from the outside world. That additional information from the outside world, we will place it in here and here so that the function can use it to do its operations. Now here we are saying that when you multiply the price and the tax rate, whatever answer you get, you are going to save it onto the function itself. I'm going to create another function. So def underscore tax underscore program. In here, I'm going to say print welcome. Sorry. Print welcome. Welcome to the GRA tax calculator. While true, the W in a while is small. So while true, price is equal to float into brackets input, enter the price of the goods in Ghana City. Tax rate is equal to float input, enter the tax rate into brackets E.G. dot, comma, 0.15 for 15%. Colon space. Tax is equal to calculate import tax into bracket the price of the car, comma, the tax rate of the car. Now, over here, I will ask the user to enter the price of the car. He will enter. I'm asking the user to enter the tax rate for the car. He will enter. So I'll take what the user has entered here and put it here. Take what the user has put here and put it here. And that will also be taken and put here and then calculated. And the answer will be saved onto the function. So it will be sent over here. The answer will be sent over here. Perfect. Right? the tax on the tax on the goods is Ghana City plus STR tax. Of course, I'll go and copy this one here, and I'll bring it here. My students are better than me, so they will type it. And here, do you want to calculate for another item? Let me put tax here. So do you want to calculate the tax for another item? If yes, you do this, no, you do this, then the program will work. Continue. Make sure everything is lined. So you know that this is all under this. Of course, when I'm done, I have to go and call upon the what? The function. Because if I don't do this, the program will not what? Execute. And then once I do that, my program is what? Executed. My output. Let me start it again. Oh, enter the staff name bar. What's going on? I'm here. So why are you still entering the staff name? Sorry. Okay, let's see. Or is this still running or something? I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. Oh, Captain. Oh, okay, let me see. Captain. No. Okay. Now I can run this. Yes. So my GRA calculator is here. The goods is 10,000. The tax is 0.15. Hence, do I want to write another one? Yes. And the way in which we wrote this program, it handles the question for us because do we want to modify the code? The user will now type in the tax. So whenever he has any tax change, he can type the tax change himself and the code will be what? Modified. And then we have done it so that the program can handle all type of goods, not just cars, so on and so forth. These are 3 different programs. I would send you the code that I did for the team. Analyze it, try it yourself. There is no shame in getting an error. You're a beginner, you will get errors. It's okay. But the most important thing is when you have an error, you get a solution for the error. Ask your friends who know, you can ask me. If you're shy of me, ask a friend who knows. But the most important thing is that you practice. That's what is most important. The more you practice, the more you will know.